Okay, hello everybody. So for this month's Fearless Fridays, I'm here with Angela Tran. Angela and I are together in a mastermind actually. So I suddenly realized that she was the perfect candidate to interview for the blog. So thank you so much, Angela, for your time. And why don't
Hey,
you
I'm so
tell us?
excited to be here.
Thank you. No, really appreciate it. I was saying before, I love your background, so it's a really nice, peaceful sort of nature photograph to have as a backdrop for the conversation. But do you want to tell us already a little bit about what you were doing before and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I am a medical weight loss doctor here in Denver, Colorado, and I help busy professionals lose over 50 pounds in less than 6 months without surgery using one-on-one nutrition, fitness training, and medical supervision all under one roof.
Amazing. That's such a good, succinct business pitch already. Clearly, very doing very well in terms of what you're doing. And did you start out doing this? What was your background previously?
I've actually been telling the story for the last, I feel like a couple of months now. I've been telling people, I took a detour.
Mhm.
One of my favorite authors, Gabby Bernstein, it's actually a chapter in one of her books, The Universe Has Her Back, and she calls it a detour in the right direction.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, so I was the classic story, a little girl with a dream of becoming a doctor, and by the time I finished 12 plus years of training, I ended up not wanting to be a doctor after
Mm.
all. Isn't that a terrible feeling to have? And like, did I just waste 12 years of my life to really, go back to square one? I had finished all the way through. I became a primary care doctor. So I was, writing prescriptions, helping people with knee pain, coughs, but then I started seeing like diabetes and, heart attacks. But at the end of the day, all I felt like I was doing was putting band-aids and I wasn't really saving lives. I tell people, doctors aren't like they are on the hit TV show Grey's Anatomy here in the US. I
Oh
mean,
no, really? That
it
looks
looks really
amazing.
cool. Yeah, looks really cool on TV. Sorry, being a doctor in real life is not quite Hollywood. So
No
it really
McDreamy, no
took me.
McSteamy.
Yes, right. Yes. So it kind of really made me reevaluate. I know that you just had a baby, and I came to a point where, gosh, if I were to start a family in the terrible state of mind that I was
Mm.
going to be a terrible mother, terrible wife, terrible all around. So that's when I really started my own personal journey.
Amazing. And what was it? It sounds like a little bit, as you said, you realized that actually the whole career that you trained for wasn't what you wanted to continue with, and also thinking a little bit about sort of the flexibility maybe with your future family. What was it that made you really think like, no, I need to now change completely. I need
Yeah.
to change
You
direction.
know, I hope this resonates with all the listeners out there. I mean, I was caught in the middle of the highway, and it was high traffic,
Mm.
and you know, literally, it was 8 o'clock at night, and this was something I was clocking in for days and months of 12-hour plus days. I could feel my blood pressure go up, and I literally had a moment where I said, "Gosh, if I had a child waiting for me at home." I really felt
Mm.
that I would be the worst mother of all. So that was really sort of my aha moment, where this there has to be more. I can't live life like this. I literally have quote started my career only to find out that I don't want this at all.
Mm.
So I panicked, just like anybody else. I wanted an out. So I, believe it or not, was on the internet. You're obsessed with looking for the next best thing and the next job, and then you realize, well, this office is further away, or this office,
Mm.
makes you be on call on the weekends, and so I really just sort of kind of hit a spot where, okay, I need to just I literally just said, okay, universe, you win, give me a sign. And believe it or not, I met a doctor who actually helps doctors like me who are classically burnt out.
Mm.
And I went to his workshop. And that was the start of it all. He said, Angela, you remind me of one of my friends in Texas who does weight loss. I'd like to introduce you. And so we spent an hour on the phone. She said, I truly am actually helping people. And I said, really? And she said, I enjoy what I'm doing. And I said, who says that? I didn't even think that existed, that the people actually really enjoy their job. I thought it was just a means to, live life. And so, love at first sight, as soon as I got off, that was my journey. I started to try to figure out, with zero business background, how to build my practice. And fast forward 7 years later, I started from 2 employees to 10 that I love to death and drive me crazy, but I'd never give it up to go back to the corporate job that, we all feel the pain in.
Definitely. And as you said, I think that definitely resonates with a lot of people, whether they, qualified as a doctor or some other career. And it's great that you had that insight before you had children as well, right? That you realize this isn't the right kind of, I'm not in the right frame of mind to do that. And as you said, it's so sad that I think a lot of us have that mindset that like work isn't supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to earn a lot of money. It's supposed to be work is work. And as you said, that idea that you enjoy it and that you feel like you're helping people is quite foreign to a lot of us, certainly in corporate job. Even more so for us sitting in an office working on PowerPoint and Excel than you were a doctor. So for me, naively, I would think, wow, you're really making an incredible impact. So it's interesting to hear that shift. So it sounds very fortuitous that the universe threw everything in the right direction for you. But as you said, it was a bit of sort of a detour. So what were the challenges you came up against in terms of shifting from this path that you'd been on for so long towards setting up your business with no knowledge, as you said, of that kind of world?
The biggest shift in, like I said, hopefully all the other listeners can just really relate. I gave up a 6-figure salary paycheck. It made me want to vomit, not only to, quit all the work. I mean, I was a straight A student, you guys. I gave up partying and, I studied and, I really worked hard to get into medical school. And then all of a sudden, to even give it up financially. I know some people out there are the primary breadwinners. So I wasn't even married at the time. Yes, I was dating my now husband, but it was just all on me. And I didn't ask him for any help. I said, if I'm going to make this work, it's all up to me. So that was the biggest challenge of all, was just committing all in. I don't have a plan B. As an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as a plan B. You make it work, and that's why you're successful, because you don't think that there is ever going to be a plan B. That's probably one of the secrets. And then the second obstacle was like, I have no idea how to run a business. I know how to look under a microscope, and I know how to prescribe an antibiotic, but I don't know anything about profit and loss statements and hiring employees and, pricing products and services. I mean, it just, the nice thing is that the internet is your library of resources. I mean, everything and anything that you ever need is right there. And here in Denver, Colorado, they also have a center called the Denver Small Business Development Center. So you take a business basics class, and then they assign you a free mentor that you can meet with. So for an entire year, I literally was in her office every other month. I was seeing patients, running back to the corner office, making phone calls, and fast forward to about 2012 was when I officially opened doors, which is right after I put in the resignation to my chief.
Oh, great. So it sounds like you had a few. So you mentioned already the doctor you met who helped you connect you with this weight loss doctor, and then also, as you said, this mentor. So where else did you get the support? I think it's incredibly scary, but also empowering that you realize this is all on me, right? Because you take ownership for the direction in which your life and your career is going. So that's incredibly empowering, but also quite frightening, as you said, when you don't know so much. So where else, either internally or externally, did you get the resources and support you needed to now succeed over the years?
Yeah, honestly, I was just so clued into what I wanted to do. I had to find outside support. Yes, I had the support of my mother, and, my husband now, but they've never run a business. And so thankfully, they just said, you can do it. But really, I had to find resources again. What was accessible to me, like the mentor at the Denver Small Business Development Center, and just took a few courses online, a few business conferences, and I just kind of opened myself up to the world, because you get caught in your corporate job. You have a very narrow-minded one point of view, and then once you sort of like release what I call the golden handcuffs, so to speak. The universe is at your feet. So as cliche or just this kind of statement, I let the universe support me, and I was more open to it rather than my narrow-minded. I want to control things. I want this to happen. I just sort of release whatever I thought was right and allowed the blueprint that I believe that already existed, and kind of took the faith, kind of like Indiana Jones, and the leap of faith.
Oh yes, no,
The
I
path
love
is
that
there.
image. Yeah, you take the
Yeah,
step across the gorge. Yeah,
yeah. You
absolutely.
don't see it at
Yeah,
all, and
yeah.
you literally feel like you're gonna fall. That's exactly how it feels. But when all you have to do is take a step, because you know internally that exists, and that's why I just love what I do today, because I truly am connected to my purpose this time around.
Oh, amazing! You're speaking my language now. Taking one step. That's exactly what my brand
Yes,
is like. So,
yes.
I love. It's interesting that you said that you have some support from your friends, your mum, and so on. Maybe taking care of your daughter and that kind of help, and they're emotionally supporting you and believing in you. But as you said, they don't necessarily have experience of the entrepreneurial world. They might have some fears and so on as well. So then you need to go out and find that support. And as you also said, the internet is so full, almost too full right now of information. You almost get overwhelmed with too much. So navigating that is a challenge in itself. But I love that idea as well, that you have to have the faith to take that step
Yes,
and
yes.
let go of control a little bit, which is difficult
I
for
know,
us,
yeah,
isn't
no
it?
kidding.
So yeah. And I think you already mentioned a little bit there, like how amazing your life is now. But tell us, what's the best part now of your life or work? Are you like that weight loss doctor in Texas, was it, who loved her work now? How do
Oh
you
my
feel? What's
goodness.
changed?
Yes, I'm just on an all-time high. Yes, I do have the stresses of running a business. You mentioned we are in a mastermind group called Legacy Leaders, and our business coach is Kelly Roach. I owe everything to her, because back in 2015, I still struggled. I still didn't really know what I was doing. I kind of almost recreated my corporate job.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was still the one woman show where I was seeing patients back to back to back, and I was doing the marketing and the bookkeeping, and the even answering the phone calls. I remember I had one employee, and she couldn't, she was feeling ill, and so I was the only one in the office.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so I finally, came across Kelly Roach, who really helped me understand how to build a true business, and build a team. So fast forward to today, rather than seeing 25 patients a day, I see roughly about 5 patients a week. But I've been able to build an actual team that can really facilitate sort of the program and formula that I've created. Now, I still see all patients, but it's just in such a different, atmosphere. And, we were talking before we were on here. I did it all for my daughter, Haley. I get to drop her off at school next door to my office. I take her home during my lunch break. If she has a soccer game, I get to take her. If she's sick, I get to, go home and take care of her. If I want Fridays off, I don't remember the last time I worked a Friday.
Yay.
That's the beauty of really stepping out of what you thought was security and opening yourself up to what you were truly meant to do. And the universe just rewards you over and over again. And I heard this on another from another mentor. The universe is your business partner, and I truly believe that.
Oh, that's exciting to think of that, isn't it? Rather, yeah, trusting that support is going to come again. I remember I wrote an article sort of 6 months after I changed, and it was all the 10 things I learned since quitting my job, which people have really resonated with, and it's great to see that other people have been reassured by it. But one of them was exactly that opportunities will come from completely unexpected places. You
Yes.
just have to take that one little step. You don't have to see the whole
Yes.
staircase, the whole path, right? And
Yep.
then that will, following your
Yep.
curiosity and seeing someone else will come with an opportunity or a suggestion or support or something, and then it kind of goes. And I love also what you said about the sort of apparent security, right? You think that is a comfortable comfort zone, but it's not really, because as you said, you're not happy doing that thing. You're not able to take care of yourself, your family, and so on. And you just have no idea that this whole world of possibilities exists. It's not even within your sort of frame of reference. So you do have to challenge that comfort zone and get out and do some pretty scary things in order to discover this whole
Yes.
new world you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, you're for sure. But everybody knows the magic happens outside of the comfort
Yes,
zone.
exactly.
It's true all the time.
So true. It's all these cliches, isn't it? But there's a reason why they're cliches, because they're true. So it's
Yes.
something to embrace. I'm talking about that on the blog at the moment, actually. So you've already given, I think, lots of nuggets that would be really helpful for people. But, if you, as you said, talk to someone who was in the situation you were in, you wake up either that actually, hang on, the career I've trained for is not what I wanted, or this is not going to work for me. I'm not showing up properly for myself, for my clients, patients, myself, my family, whatever it
Yes.
is. What advice would you give now? What advice would have you given yourself if you could have gone
Yeah.
back there and told yourself something?
Yeah. Commit to yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
I know that some people kind of hear that and it logically makes sense, but they never actually implement that follow way through because of fear or whatever sort of barrier stories. You can say it logically, but until you actually feel it, commit to yourself first. And then things will work out the way it's supposed to, but you actually have to make a decision, meaning that you eliminated all other alternatives by committing.
That's really important. That's an interesting one, as you said, that you go, yeah, I'm committing to myself, but actually it's a different thing to actually live that, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and anything else that you can think of that would be helpful for people, or anything else you want to add in terms of your story, or something you've discovered maybe now? As you said, you've been in business for quite a few years afterwards. Have you made any more insights or learnings that you've got more recently,
Yeah.
perhaps?
I know there's a lot of people out there who are scared, and I was there, and guess what? I'm still there. We as business owners just have a different tolerance of fear, and we're able to make decisions around it. But I've been there, and I just want to encourage people. There is so much on the other side
Yes.
that you are giving up by staying where you are. So commit, figure it out, and it will be fast, to get you to where you want to be. Life is too short for you to, stay where you are.
Yes, love that. Amazing. What a great note to end on. Thank you so much, Angela, for your time.
Yes, thank you.
It's such a pleasure to hear, and thank you for sharing so honestly your story. Where can we find you if somebody maybe wants to lose that weight in the 6 months, or we just want to read more about your journey? Where can we
Yeah.
find you online?
Everybody can go to denverweightlossclinic.com and take a look at the information on my website. I always invite people to find me on Facebook, just Angela Tran. Private message me. I love it because I've been through it. And like I said, it was a struggle, but I want to tell my story because there's too many people out there who are so burnt out and really in the wrong things. And I want to really open, that process and allow them to, take away their fear and really step outside to, do what they were meant to do.
Yeah, incredible. So you're not just helping people with the weight loss and the medical side, but you're
Yep.
also wanting to share your sort of career journey and business story. And I was going to ask, do you work with clients globally, internationally, or do you work more locally with people in Colorado? How does the business work?
Very good question. So we do currently work with patients throughout Colorado first, but I am working on a project coming in 2020, which I'm very excited about, which will be virtual. So stay tuned, everybody.
Perfect. So just in time for us to discover you online and maybe work with you as well.
Yes.
I'm realizing, sorry, the sun's just come out, so I'm probably looking a bit strange, but so there you go. It's the universe telling us, take that step. We're here to support you, right? It's the sign that we need to follow the light. So I'm sorry if that looks a bit strange, but anyway, thank you so much, Angela. I'll link to all of that, and I have your beautiful photos and your website and so on to share as well. So thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on making it such a success.
It was my pleasure.